welcome to 3eTV. I'm Margaret Sass. This is Chuck Callahan, and we are introducing Amy and Kirsten regarding United Way and your relationship with Purdue and also with the community. So I'm going to have you introduce yourself and then tell us about what your role is right now with United Way.
Sure. I'm Amy Wood. I am the volunteer associate at United Way of Greater Lafayette.
I am Kirsten Sailors. I am human service major here at Purdue. I'll graduate in May, and I am the intern at United Way.
So you're graduating this May, not next May?
Yes, I'm graduating this May.
What are your plans after you graduate, or hope to be?
Hopefully I will be involved in development at a United Way somewhere.
Okay. So Amy, I know that you've been working a long time with Purdue. So can you think of perhaps some of the really big programs at United Way, like Read to Succeed, that brings in a lot of Purdue students and faculty right now?
Yeah, I would say we have two major programs that we interact with Purdue, and the first one being Read to Succeed. We currently have volunteers from not only the students but the faculty working as volunteers in this volunteer effort of reading 1 hour a week with children within our 19 schools in Tippecanoe County. And we currently have a class, Professor Roberts, Carly Roberts has got a class that is in Read to Succeed this semester. Her entire class is in the semester. The second program is VITA, which is Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program. We work closely with Krannert University, the business school, that they are doing taxes through the tax season. So they actually get certified by the IRS and learn how to do taxes at different levels. Some of them go up to doing some pretty high tax returns, and they offer their time volunteering with helping with the community with getting their tax returns done for free, which is a huge cost savings for people in our community.
And I think one interesting thing about that program, aren't there a significant number of international Purdue students that are figuring taxes for?
Yes, for other international students,
wow,
which is really great. It's a great outlet for the international students to get their taxes done, and then also to give them experience of doing the taxes for them. So it's just a great situation for both.
Is it ever bilingual, or do some of the students know how to speak a different language to help the international students if they're struggling?
I'm sure that there's some aspect to that. It's not a requirement, but I'm sure it's just natural that there would be an aspect of knowing the same language and being able to work with them.
So sorry I interrupted you earlier, but Read to Succeed.
I just want to get the international piece in.
I know. And the Read to Succeed part, I know this is a huge initiative. So what's the benefit of it? I know that you read once a week, but what's the goal, the purpose behind it?
Well, basically, it is a collaboration with the Greater Lafayette Commerce, United Way, and the 3 school corporations. And what we are trying to do is right now we have over 535 volunteers volunteering in our 19 elementary schools, or actually 15 and will be 19 elementary schools that is focusing on the 3rd grade reading level. Basically, you learn how to read up to 3rd grade. And after 3rd grade, you read to learn. So if our children are not reading at the 3rd grade reading level, their chances of graduating diminishes or moving on to college. And that's one of United Way's initiatives, is to make sure that all of our children in our community graduate and move on to career or college. And so with the volunteers going in, it's a stable person in their lives that goes in 1 hour a week through the entire school year. Sometimes semester with some of the Purdue students, but they get that bond with the children and help them learn to read and make sure they're reading at that 3rd grade reading level. So we do work K through 5. The volunteers are through K through 5, but the main focus is that 3rd grade reading level.
So they pair up a Purdue student with a student in the elementary school, or a couple of students?
It depends on the teacher. That's the beauty of the program. It is teacher driven. It is what they want to utilize the volunteer for. In some cases, it's one-on-one. Some cases, it's small groups.
Okay.
You might read to the child. They might read to you. You might do small games around reading. You might help them with worksheets. It just sort of depends on what the teacher wants you to utilize that volunteer for. With the one with Carly Roberts, she actually has her students also doing some assessment pieces themselves, and they will have to report back to the class their findings, and they'll also share that with the teacher. So they are pairing up with one child to do this assessment piece.
Now, I know that you probably don't know all the volunteers in the program, but I know Chuck is going to ask this. Are there any international students that you're aware of that are involved in doing this Read to Succeed program that you may be aware of? Okay.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. And that's where the bilingual does come in into play in a lot of cases as well. So, yeah, we have all walks of life, and then within the students, definitely having some of that international aspect is a nice fit.
Kirsten, do you work in that program at all?
I work a lot in that
Okay,
program.
tell us about what you do.
Well, in the first month, I started working on the Valentine's Day cookie project of my internship, and that was essentially just getting a little gift to the teachers saying thank you for letting them have volunteers. And I got to be a liaison. I got to learn about what the volunteers and the teachers think of each other, and it was really fascinating. And my favorite part was the education class from Purdue.
Oh, okay.
The teachers raved about them. The teachers loved them. They thought they were so great, and it was really beneficial. So it was just great to see amazing things like that happening with my school and my organization and my community.
Did any of them, as you were playing the liaison, did you learn anything about some stories that they shared that went really well? Or
I have so many good stories. Like, most teachers are just raving about Read to Succeed and how beneficial it is and how the volunteers have such an impact on their life. And it was really good to see all of the good that United Way is doing in the first few months of my internship.
Wow. Well, I have to say that Kirsten does several Read to Succeed spots herself.
Oh, really?
I have 4 Read to Succeed
Okay,
spots.
why don't you tell us about that? That's really interesting. So you are an intern, but you also volunteer.
I volunteer a lot.
Tell us about that.
I have a kindergarten class, and that class is at Dayton Elementary, which is kind of more far away, so it's a little bit more difficult to get volunteers. And I think that's why I'm there. But that's okay. I love it there. And I really have loved all of my time that I've been able to spend there. And I've been able to do reading games, help kindergartners sound out words. And I've just been doing this for a semester. And just in that semester, I've seen kids go from struggling to really, really improving on like their pronouncing words. And I know it's just not me. I know it's not me, but the teacher does amazing things. And just to be able to see what that teacher does to affect their lives. A lot of elementary school teachers get a lot of criticism.
Yes.
You know, you're working with their children. People criticize that.
Right.
But it's just amazing to see all the great things they're doing. And then I have 3 second grade classrooms that I work with.
Wow. You like second grade?
I guess I do. But it's because second grade I have more of the teachers kind of have a feel for what students are really struggling, and I have more of the breakaway, like a specific student. And my students were having a really difficult time when I started, and now they are going beyond their reading goal, and they are doing a great job, and I'm so proud of them. And they're like part of my little family, like of United Way still. And I'm about to finish, and it makes me very sad that I'm going to have to say goodbye to these kids because they're adorable and I love them. But
that's what I was going to ask you. How is it? Because I know with the semester ending and then school ending, I'm just curious to know if do you want to continue something like this at a different place that you may be working at or living? Because I'm sure the program is across the country, right?
No, actually, Read to Succeed is unique to Lafayette. And Lafayette, West Lafayette, and but there are other other mentoring programs and that you can get involved with in schools. So I'm not saying it's the only one around, but Read to Succeed was actually started here. We've actually taken it, though we hope to be modeled in other cities. They have approached us to get our modeling so that they can take it to other places. So we hope that Read to Succeed will be across the country someday.
Oh.
And there's a lot of grassroots reading programs in the South, and because I'm looking towards going south, so I've been researching United Ways down there, and then if I do stay in the Lafayette area, I do plan on being a major part of United Way still, whether it's volunteering or anything, because I have fallen in love with this organization. It's one of the best organizations I think is out there, and we definitely have probably the best United Way in the state, I will say that.
We have her trained well.
I was going to say, how long did you work on that script?
I didn't work on it. I've just heard that many times.
Okay. So you're volunteering. What else do you do at United Way? Any other programs that you're active with, or is this the main? I'm sure this is the main one, of course. But
we utilize her a lot.
Yeah, I am the first intern that has worked in all areas of United Way.
Really?
Usually they're in a specific area, and apparently they couldn't keep me busy enough, so they put me in everyone's place. I work with Amy a lot with the Get Connected website platform and trying to get our supporting organizations to get their website up and have a better way of reaching out to volunteers and donations and in-kind needs. I've worked with the campaign with United Way by delivering thank you gifts and meeting one-on-one with donors and really telling them how much we appreciate all of that they do. I also work significantly on the kindergarten countdown, which is coming up come June through August.
which I'm glad you mentioned, because I'm going to ask you about that in a minute.
I have worked a little with the VITA program. I was there to direct people to go to the right sections for a little bit, and then also I am involved in the health associate with the community baby shower. So I am putting my hands in every little bit of United Way I possibly can.
Yeah,
One thing we like to do with our interns is make sure they get a well-rounded view of the organization and in nonprofits. So anywhere we can fit them in to learn more about our organization and nonprofits in general, we really look forward to that. So we invite them to our board meetings and in any of our committee meetings. We want to make sure that they're well involved in learning the process of how it works.
I've been to many meetings.
Have you? And all your interns are from Purdue, while at the last year that they're graduating, is that usually how it works?
It usually ends up that way, but not necessarily. We're not limited to it, no.
So you could always seek out other interns as well,
Sure.
right?
Yes. And we have been, from other, from Ivy Tech and that.
Right.
We've had a few, but we really do love our Purdue interns and look forward to having them there. So
The VITA program did have an intern with the School of Management. Actually, I think there was 2 interns this year for the VITA program because it's
so big.
growing so much. And
Well, I'm curious to ask if another Purdue student came to you and said, well, what's the advantage to doing this volunteer work at United Way? What would you tell them? What's the advantage to them as a student or a graduate of Purdue? How's it going to pay off for them?
well, I would want to know what volunteering they're doing first, so that way I can make it more specific. Because United Way is so broad, you can literally find something that you're slightly passionate about, whether it's working with kids and early literacy or doing accounting. Like, we have a very wide spectrum, and just to be with United Way and be able to find your little niche. And if we don't have your niche, we probably have a supporting organization that Amy can reach out to for you and get you that specific niche. And just to be able to work in something that you're actually passionate about, that you actually give a hoot about,
Okay.
just, it really, really warms your soul and makes...
So you could tailor fit the student to with their interests.
Very much so.
It's going to warm their heart, right? What else? What other benefits do you see?
Well, I like the fact that with United Way, it's so well known. Just the fact of working with United Way, I can say that to someone and they're going to know what I was doing. When I say that I work with Read to Succeed, I have to explain a little bit what's Read to Succeed and explain the importance with Read to Succeed, but that's fine. But when I say that I've volunteered or interned at United Way, people are impressed. they find that a very highly never mind, a very well respected organization, and that makes me look better to future employers or just any community at large.
Can you think of any specific skill sets you've developed because of this work?
I don't know if I've developed, I have definitely improved many of my skill sets, I will say that. Because in high school I was really big into 4-H, and I was a junior leader, so I've constantly been out in the community dealing with people, but that was when I was a high schooler, and I'm more mature now, and I have fine-tuned my personable skills with dealing with the community and making them interact with United Way, and United Way has definitely helped me fine-tune that.
I'm sure it's a special talent to be a liaison. I mean, when you're working for a nonprofit and you're working with a business and making that relationship work and the communication that always occurs when you're volunteering, I mean, that's significantly important. I'm guessing that doing all that liaison work has really increased your communication skills and the ability to work with all sorts of people, right?
Exactly.
And then you're continuing to be a liaison for the next 2 weeks, I'm assuming, because I know that Amy still has a ton of activities that are still occurring even at this moment, right?
Oh, yes.
Which brings me to one of my favorite programs, the kindergarten program. I really like this program. So can one of you kind of explain into detail? I know you've been working on it. I know you've been running it for quite a while, but I think this is a fantastic opportunity for the community that I don't think people know about that much.
Right, and it is fairly new. It's been the last 3 years,
Right.
But it is. We have actually partnered with IU Health, and we go in. It's called Kindergarten Countdown Camp. Basically, it's for children that have little to no preschool experience that are about ready to start kindergarten, and it's a camp. They go to kindergarten in the summer for 3 or 4 weeks, and the kindergarten teachers sign on and get paid to have this camp running and teaching these kids just the basic things like cutting with a pair of scissors, how to stand in line, things like that they just don't have that experience with. And it is amazing. You think 3 to 4 weeks, what's that going to do? It is amazing what they do in 3 to 4 weeks. They literally go from not knowing what to do to being the leaders by the time school starts. And it's just a great way to get them started and also to help the teachers out, because otherwise they would have to spend that first 3 to 4 weeks at the beginning of the school year teaching these children how to do these basic things. And even non-basic. They go from not knowing how to hold a pencil, and so not knowing how to write their name, to by the time 3 to 4 weeks at the end, they're writing their names. So it's just a really great kickstart to kindergarten.
And kindergarten students that don't have preschool experience tend to be 14 months behind kindergarten students that do have preschool. So we try and get in there and fix that problem in just a 4-week short time frame. And that 4-week short time frame where the kindergarten teachers can focus their time just significantly improves that 14-month gap.
And you can volunteer for this.
Yes, we do take volunteers from all over. I have some Purdue students that have already signed up that they want to be volunteers in the program. And it's a great way because it's not, we're Read to Succeed. We do ask for that commitment of at least 6, a semester and all year if we can. Where this one you can offer just, 3 or 4 weeks of your time. And there again, you can do the one day or you can do several days. It just depends on what you have the time for.
And I think it's great that it's during the summer, because a lot of students are now staying around to do summer school. And international students are taking advantage of that as well, just because of the cost of trying to fly back and forth to home. And I think it's such a good opportunity to really be exposed to what little kids are doing in the United States before they actually go into kindergarten. And I'm sure some of them are pretty high in what they can do at that time, but there's probably some other kids that are really struggling with the whole concept of a community classroom.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Working with other kids and being exposed to that.
In some cases, they've not been around other kids at all. They've been at at home with a parent, and or if they've been in just a babysitting situation,
Right.
not a preschool situation. So it gives them that structure and helping them see.
So are there any volunteer programs that you know of coming in the fall that would be really ideal for an international student to be involved in?
I just encourage international students just to get involved in anyway, because for one thing, this is their community for while they're here.
Right.
And we hope, and possibly even stay. We'd love for them to stay. So just by reaching out and going into several organizations, and which I can, get them connected through my
Right.
website, is an opportunity for them to grow and learn experience about our little community that we have here and that they're living in and part of, and very much a part of.
Do you help? Is there any way that you can give them information about transportation? I know that is usually an issue. Do you like?
Most of the organizations, the nonprofit organizations, do fall on the city bus
Okay.
route. So I do recommend, utilizing the city bus route for that. But also, look into, carpooling. There's got to be some, connection they might have.
Right.
And volunteer together. So, pick up someone that has a car that can get around to the places, and then it's fun to volunteer together anyway.
That's true. Now, I know that you've been working on the website.
I have.
And this is really interesting because I know that you've been revamping the website, and I think it's a really major value for faculty actually on campus to go to your site. So since you've been working on it, can you explain how it works a little bit?
Well, I've been working on it, and as well as Amy,
Right.
but I've been working on it trying to get our 23 supporting organizations to get in there, get their site up and running, get it beautiful, get it
Right.
to where people can search what they want to do, and they can follow that certain organization, and maybe possibly come up with volunteer or donation needs that they can have. So it's really, really quite simple. People are kind of terrified by it, which is the fun thing. The nonprofits and technology.
Right, of course, yeah.
We try and do a lot of good, but technology sometimes isn't our favorite thing. But what's really great is that it's really simple and really easy to follow. You just make an account, you click the things that you're interested in. So if it were for a faculty member with Purdue trying to find a way to relate a service learning project with their class,
Right.
they can go in, click the things that are involved in their class, and that way they can have a list of organizations that are involved and that they can give to their students to participate in these service learning projects. I know I've done several of that, and we've never had that option when I was taking my service learning courses. So
Which is fantastic, actually. So if I'm like teaching a law class and I can go click on to just law education in general, and it'll pull up different organizations that's already part of the network. And I know
Right.
it's not just United Way partners; it's all nonprofits, right?
Right. That's the unique thing about the Volunteer Center is it's not only just the 23 participating organizations. There's right now currently about 85 to 90 organizations
Wow.
on the website that they can look through, browse through, link with, and find an opportunity that's a good fit for them.
So when they click on something, let's say it's Food Finders, will it give like the contact name? Will it be an email? Does it go straight to their website, or all of the above?
All of the above.
Okay.
Basically, it's going to tell them a little bit about their organization,
Okay.
what they do. They're going to list all of their volunteer needs that they have, has the contact information, does have a link to their website. If they have a video that that advertises them, that's there. Pictures, it's a nice little compartment for the organizations to be able to showcase themselves.
That's a really good, important thing, I think, for the community and the
Yes.
students and the faculty.
Exactly.
So as we're ending the show, is there any way they can reach you? What's the best way to reach United Way and your website? And
I'm always available by phone,
Right.
which is 765-742-9077, extension 222. And then the website, we can go to uwlafayettevolunteer.org. would get you to the Volunteer Center. Of course, just uwlafayette.org is always our website for United Way if you want to learn more about it.
And you can Google United Way Lafayette as well, right?
You can do volunteering in Lafayette, Indiana, and you'll get to the website.
Really? Okay, excellent. And one more thing, Facebook, Twitter,
Yes,
anything?
Yes, Facebook and Twitter.
Wow,
as well,
you are on
so,
Twitter.
Yes.
That's impressive.
I'm not on Twitter, but we do have a staff member that does our Twitter account, yes.
And it's United Way Lafayette? Is that the Twitter?
I think it's UW Lafayette.
UW Lafayette. Okay. Okay, great. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for
having
taking time out, and congratulations on graduating really soon.
Thank you.
And I hope you find a fabulous United Way as great as here
I'm
to be
sure I
working
will, or
at.
I'll help.
We're helping
I'll help
her.
get that way.
Excellent. Well, thank you for joining us for this episode. We will see you next time.